Hi guys, I'm Zach with ZD Productions. Thanks for joining me for our story tip today. Now in this video, we're going to look at the actual plot or the story of your video and the different parts that you need to be able to keep your audience fully engaged throughout the length of your video. I'm sure many of you have heard of the 3-act structure. You hear that a lot when it comes to performances, plays, books, but it also applies to videos and you can even find it in movies. The 3-act structure is a beginning, middle, and an end. Now the length of these is different. The middle is going to be your longest section, and the beginning and the end are going to be your shortest. I kind of look at it like fishing. Act 1, or the beginning, is when you first hook the fish. You want to have excitement there. This is where you want to grab your audience's attention. You want to hook them so that they're interested and want to keep watching to see what is going to happen. Act 2, or the middle, this is the longest part of your video, and this is where you're showing the journey that your main character, or your fisherman, has to go through to be able to go from catching the fish to actually landing the fish. This is where you dig in depth into your main character's story. This is where your audience goes from just being intrigued because they've been hooked by the first few seconds of your video to actually feeling empathy for your main character. This is where you talk about the main character's life. This is where you talk about the struggles they've gone through and the things that they've done to overcome them. Now the end, or Act 3, is where you land the fish, where you bring it home, where you show how your organization has been integral into getting the person in your story from point A to point B. This is where you wrap up the story. This is where you give inspiration and hope for the future of not only this person, but all the other people that you're helping. This leaves your audience with a sense of hope, leaves them inspired to want to get involved themselves. The whole point of a 3-act structure is to help you, the person creating the story, to make sure that you provide all the information necessary for the story to be impactful and engaging. You could have a great hook in the beginning, but if you don't give people the time to connect emotionally with the character in your story, when you get to that end bit where you want them to feel something, where you want them to be motivated to go do something, they're not going to have it. Conversely, if you have an amazing middle section, delving deeply into this person's story, talking about all the challenges they face and how they're just like the people that are watching, but yet you lost people in the very beginning because you didn't have a hook that catches their attention. You've already lost them, and everything there in the middle, they're not going to remember. I know this can seem like a lot of information to try to keep in your mind and be thinking about while you're crafting your story, but just know that the more you think about this and the more you're able to incorporate these ideas and concepts into your story process, the better and more effective your stories are going to be.